Shout out to Brooklyn Bless. I said, what can we do naturally to anti-age besides using the chamber?
Oh, that's a good question.
Great question.
So before I got into the hyperbaric, and this is super interesting stuff, dude.
I'm ready.
Okay, so me and my wife were going to this place in Agoura Hills. It's called a harmonic egg. That's pretty trippy shit, dude. You go in and it's egg. But anyway, it's a side story. But the main thing is they introduced us to this book called The Phoenix Protocol. Okay. And
always dropping it.
So the Phoenix Protocol. Okay. This was something.
Yeah.
Is a NASA scientist. His name is Dr. Augustine. You can get this book, by the way, on Amazon. It's called The Phoenix Protocol. And basically what he found out was that the Russians for decades have been doing something called dry fasting, which is fasting with no water, no food. And if you go 7 days, if you do that every year, like once or twice a year, it's going to extend your life 15 to 25 years. So you get the similar benefits of doing the hyperbaric by doing the dry fasting.
The dry fasting.
Yeah. So my wife and me, we got the book and we did our first dry fast between Christmas and New Year's to see how it was.
Yeah.
I dropped down to my weight when I graduated in high school. I got down to like 170. Normally I'm like 193. I was down to 173.
Right.
But more than that, I felt like my body did when I was in high school.
What?
Seriously, man.
That's crazy. Oh, good looking for this. Yeah, we gotta get the tea.
Cool. But yeah, that book, if you don't have a lot of money and you want to do something really profound, Phoenix Protocol. Incredible.
That's dry fasting.
Dry fasting. And most people get freaked out because we're taught, oh, you can die within 3 days without water. It's not true. The Russians found out you can go 11 days and still get like healing benefit.
Wow.
They actually reverse like chronic diseases by doing 11-day dry fast. Yeah.
A lot of things they told us is not true. Huh?
No, yeah. I mean, and it's, yeah. I mean, obviously, you've got to do your research. You don't want to just do this based off a podcast. You definitely want to get the book and learn the procedure because it is kind of a medical thing, but you can do it on your own. Right. You know? Right. So that would be the number one thing. And then, you know, taking things like resveratrol. Resveratrol reverses aging too.
What's that resveratrol?
Resveratrol is what's found in red wine and some other plants have it. But that's Dr. Sinclair from Harvard basically did a study a decade ago where they found that when they gave mice this resveratrol, they lived like a third longer. Ooh. And so they've been using it now for over a decade. But the thing with people who drink wine, like in France where wine is part of their culture, they live a lot longer. And it's because of the resveratrol.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
From Alan Caswell, he said, "I healed paralysis from chemical burns, and my brother healed from boils using the carnivore diet." Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm all about
question,
it. I started doing the carnivore diet myself. I'm not on it now, but I've gone on and off of it. But yeah, I think meat is a huge component of good nutrition for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, something we're completely lied to about. Wow. It's actually just the opposite. Meat is the most important food you can eat, and then you add in things like vegetables and fruit and things. But meat needs to be the main thing if you want to be healthy. Yeah, I really believe that for sure.
Wow. Now, we have to point out grass-fed beef.
Yeah, of course. We want things that are regeneratively grown in really conscious farming practices, right? And actually is healthy for the planet.
Now, I heard about this. I thought, what is it? Is it eating raw meat or
no? I mean, there was a guy that did that. He actually healed his 4th-stage cancer by doing raw meat, raw milk, raw butter, and raw honey. This guy actually healed 4th-stage cancer doing that, and he wrote a book about it. But most people, I think they would have a hard time with that. Yeah. Yeah.
I know some delicacies like that. In Ethiopia, they have the raw meat.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like rare or medium rare.
Right.
So medium rare for sure.
Yeah.
Carnivore diet.
Now that you guys are talking about, what do you think the whole concept from the fact that you brought up that meat is good for you? Me and Priest talk about this all the time. Yeah. But what do you think that whole concept of vegetarianism and veganism and all that came from? There's nothing wrong with it. I don't go.
Well, I actually was a vegetarian.
I feel like it's a movement.
I was a vegetarian for 25 years. I was, I I think that, it's something that they've been doing in India for thousands of years, and most Hindus are vegetarian.
Right, right,
but
that's true.
I mean, there's so many different variations, but I mean, I just think as we age, we need more dense nutrition. You can get away with it when you're younger, I'd say, because your body can recover from not as quality of food because you're healthier.
Right.
But as you age, you need higher density quality food. So that's just my theory.
When you was asking where did it start at? Were you trying to say where did it start?
Yeah, I'm saying where do because I feel like the whole culture of so-called veganism is like a movement behind it.
Yeah. Well, I think it started in the '60s with the hippies, and because they're thinking they're doing good things for the environment, which is probably true. But one thing that got pointed out to me was like to eat one avocado, you have to sacrifice about 100 rodents.
Wow.
Seriously, like they have to kill like rodents, rats.
Wow.
Just they have to do pesticide work against
right.
to make a vegan food, right? You have to
Right,
kill
right.
100 animals to
Yes.
make one avocado.
What?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Why are they killing mice?
Because they'll eat the avocado. So
Wow, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
but also just in farming, when
Yeah.
they clear a field, they're killing
true.
like thousands of animals
Wow.
just to grow your kale or your
Right.
That
right,
is
right.
interesting. Very good point. That was hard. Oh man, that was heavy right there.
Yeah.
Man, that's good. That is so true. Yeah.
Yeah, I learned this from Paul Chek. I don't know. Do you know who Paul Chek is?
Nah.
He's this real famous trainer. He would be great for the show, by the way.
man.
The guy is a next level guy.
Yeah, is your friend of yours?
I can introduce you through a friend
Yeah.
of mine,
Okay.
Troy Casey. Do you know?
Okay.
Do you know who Troy?
Troy Casey. So I'm not really good.
Well, okay,
names.
so anyway,
There's so many people.
Well,
that just
anyway,
goes
this
on.
guy, I'm a close friend of Troy, but Troy would be awesome for
Awesome.
the show.
Yeah.
I'll give you a list of the names. But
Okay.
Troy, and he's like an associate of Paul Chek, but Paul Chek, he's a very conscientious health fanatic.
Right.
But he says, listen, if you're lifting weights or you're doing anything physical, you need red meat or you need fleshy food
That's real.
to build your body.
Right.
So that's just the way it is. I mean, I hate to say it, but humans, we evolved eating meat. That's just the
Right.
way it is. I mean,
Right,
our
right.
diets have had meat in it for millions of years.
Right. Oh man, this is some heavy information coming out. We started on this a little bit.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the last podcast we pulled up some testimonies.
Yeah.
People saying that too much of the greens, and even one of my good friends, Forfeit, said that you have to cook. That a doctor said some of you have to cook some of the greens too because they have certain.
Oh yeah. There's anti-nutrition in all vegetables. It's like so you have to. Some people are really sensitive to it. I have patients who can't do anything that has lectin in it, like peas or beans and nightshades, like tomatoes, potatoes,
Greens, beans.
eggplants.
Yeah.
Those are all nightshades, and
Right.
some people can't have them at all. It's like poison to them.
Yeah.